Hi, I'm Tyler.
You know who I am? Oh, hi, I'm Liam.
And this is Everyman's Fantasy.
Sorry we get started a little late at week 5, but we were recently notified to start by the football gods.
Those football guys told us to bring fantasy football projections to you, the fans.
Let's start with the quarterbacks.
So quarterbacks to look out for: Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, Robert Griffin III, and Philip Rivers.
Drew Brees, look for him to have a good week after tying Johnny Unitas' record for 47 consecutive games with a touchdown pass. They're an air-it-out type of offense, and look for him to have another big week.
Look for Matt Ryan to have another big week, being the second-ranked quarterback, looking to have 22 points against Washington. But Washington isn't known for their defense. They're known for their new starting quarterback, Robert Griffin III.
Robert Griffin III has been known to throw on defenses and run on defenses. No matter where they are on the field, he can get you in the end zone. Look for him to have a nice starting week this week.
Another player to watch is Philip Rivers. After a shaky start and a terrible week 3, he's going to have a great week this week against New Orleans. They haven't been very strong on the defensive side since Sean Payton has been gone. But this week, he should have 17 points against them.
Now on to the running backs. Personally, I believe Arian Foster is going to be number 1 this week, but Tyler has something else to say.
Frank Gore, always a reliable player, plus going against Buffalo's defense, who gives up a ton of points. He's projected to have 23 points this week. That's just outstanding.
Another good player this week could be Reggie Bush. After having a huge week 2 netting 31 points, he's been a little bit shaky with 6 points and 6 points because of his injury against the Jets. Look for him to bounce back and have 12 points this week.
Another thing he could do is come out of the backfield for a pass. Tannehill is known to throw to running backs, similar to Jamal Charles' quarterback, Matt Castle, but less about Matt Castle. Jamal Charles, great running back, projected to have 17 against one of the strong defenses in Baltimore.
Look for Ahmad Bradshaw to bounce back this week after being limited to under 60 yards of rushing against the Philadelphia Eagles defense. They're going to go up against a little bit weaker defense in Cleveland, but still, Bradshaw will not be that key in this week. He might deserve a spot on your bench.
But he probably shouldn't, because he's Ahmad Bradshaw.
No, he probably should.
I don't see why you would. If I was him, I would start him. Now, on to the receivers.
Look for the second-year sophomore breakout, A.J. Green, to have another huge week. If there's one player that's been consistent, it's A.J. Green. Look for him not to be held up against the weaker defense of Miami. He should have a huge week again.
Especially with Andy Dalton tossing the ball. Another player to look for, Steve Smith. Cam Newton, great quarterback, and Steve Smith hasn't exactly put up the numbers that we're expecting him to.
Only he's 31 ranked. I mean, how could you possibly start him? He should be on your bench. See if you can get anything for him in the trade market.
But they're playing Seattle,
whose defense is good.
Their defense is good, but I don't think they can stop Cam Newton and Steve Smith. They are one hell of a team.
Alright. Next, Roddy White. After putting up monster numbers last week, Roddy White is a definite starter. He had that huge catch from Matt Ryan in crunch time, and I think that just deserves him a huge number 1 spot in your wide receiver slot. Now focusing on the tight ends.
Tony Gonzalez, older player, but still the best in the league. He's ranked first overall the tight end, and he's projected to have 13 points this week against Washington.
Rob Gronkowski. After a slow start, Gronkowski has proved that he's still the player he was last year, going over 100 last week with a touchdown in their rout of Buffalo. Look for him to be good this week.
Even though he is injured. But another player to look at, Jacob Tamme, had a great year last year and the year before, and this year he just hasn't really been producing, except for the first week, obviously. But now he's with Manning. Manning can find any receiver he wants, and he especially loves the tight ends. Look for him to have 10 points against New England.
Kyle Rudolph, a bit of a sleeper once the season started, netting a bunch of points for the Vikings and helping Christian Ponder out a bunch. Last week, he didn't get any points whatsoever, so look for him to have a little bit of a bounce-back week this week. Ooh. Now, let's turn the ball over to defense.
Texans, being the number 2 ranked defense in the league, are going up against the Jets. Jets do have a strong offensive team, but they lost Antonio Holmes this week. Projected to have 11 points on the defensive side of the ball, the Texans are a very strong defensive team.
Keep in mind, the Jets got shut out by the Niners last week, and they better bounce back on offense because they look completely lost right now. To the Cardinals. The Cardinals defense started the year, nobody knew about them. Now they've proved that they're real. Beating everybody they've played so far, the Cardinals defense have kept them in every single game. Look to them have another strong game against St. Louis.
Especially with Steven Jackson not performing the way everybody expected him to. The final defense we're going to talk about is the 49ers. What is going on? Only projected 6 points against Buffalo. They were the number one team starting the season. I really expected to have a better week than this. They shut out the Jets and had 31 points last week. That's just impressive. They're going to shut out Buffalo again.
Alright, that's all for defenses.
A small but crucial part of any fantasy team is the kicker, especially if you have Greg Zuerlein of St. Louis. He's the number one overall kicker, and he's projected to have another big week with 13 points. Against Arizona's defense, they don't let anybody in the end zone, so expect him to have a ton of field goals.
Another kicker to watch out for is David Akers. After missing 2 field goals last week, Akers, who has normally been consistent through his whole career, look for him to have a breakout week.
Would be on that one.
Before you set your starting lineup, look to who might be injured this week.
One key player that has an injury is quarterback Tom Brady. He's probable, but I think you should start him. He's a tough guy who always loves playing the game.
Another key player who's injured is Minnesota's Christian Ponder. After having a great start to the season, look for him to play and start him if you have him.
What about Reggie Bush?
Reggie Bush, putting up a combined total of 12 points in the last 2 weeks after starting the season great. If you have another running back who could put up more than that, I would start him, but Bush, reliable for a couple points. Another running back injured is LeSean McCoy. I know McCoy is a very tough guy, and look for him to stay strong. It looks like he hurts defenses more than he hurts his own team, as he has gone over 100 multiple times this year. How about Julio Jones?
Julio Jones, probable, always a strong player, continues to produce with Matt Ryan at the wheel. I think you should start him this week, projected to have a ton of points. You never know. Another wide receiver, Danny Amendola.
Amendola is the only legitimate threat in St. Louis's offense. If you have him, start him. He's going to play. And how about the tight ends?
Ooh, there's a rough one in the tight ends. Rob Gronkowski's questionable for this week, but I think he's still going to be playing. He's a 6'6" beast.
After a huge week last week, he was injured last week. He did it. He should do it again this week.
Absolutely, no doubt. Another injury? Rookie Coby Fleener. He's a big weapon for the rookie quarterback Andrew Luck.
Because of the chemistry they developed at Stanford, he doesn't have any major reliable targets besides him and Reggie Wayne. So look for Wayne to be more doubled this week, and the Colts could lose a lot if he's out.
Without a doubt. Fleener's also just a generally big guy. But now we're going to move on to our projections for next week's games.
So how about Ravens-Chiefs?
I picked the Ravens on this one.
I'm going to agree with you there.
They look like they're just an overall better team than the Chiefs.
And the Chiefs, honestly, have been horrible this year. Except for Jamal Charles, they don't have much going for them.
What about Giants-Browns?
I feel like the Giants are going to rebound from the loss against Philadelphia and come in strong and beat the Browns.
Without a doubt, the Browns are nowhere near as good of a team as the Giants are this year.
Dolphins-Bengals?
I have the Dolphins winning this one. Reggie Wayne, strong running back. Tannehill, rookie, but he's still a good quarterback. And Brian Hartline has had a great season. 31 points last week, no doubt. How about you?
I agree with you. I think the Dolphins are the best 1-3 team out there. Barely losing in overtime twice to the Jets, who they should have beat, and to the undefeated Cardinals, who they could have easily won if they stopped on that 4th down.
Alright. How about the Colts-Packers?
I'm going to have to go all the way with the Packers, especially if Fleener doesn't play.
Without a doubt, I have Packers winning that one too. The Colts are a pretty strong team for having a rookie quarterback along with a rookie tight end. Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis moving to outside linebacker, not playing the normal position. Honestly, I don't think they have a chance against the Packers.
Eagles-Steelers.
I have the Steelers winning this one.
I can't agree with you there. The Steelers are 1-2, and the Eagles, if they don't turn the ball over, as they showed against New York, their offense can be electric, and their defense will get it done.
Steelers have also had a strong defense throughout the years. They're going to continue to have a strong defense, and Big Ben's just a generally better quarterback than Michael Vick.
You have to look at their durability issues, though. They've had a lot of injuries. I know they're getting Polamalu and Harrison back this week, but still, can you question those guys will stay healthy the whole game? I'm not sure how good their defense will hold up. How about Falcons-Redskins?
The Redskins are a strong team, but without a doubt, I have the Falcons winning. Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, just generally better players than RG3, and I don't even know who their receivers are. Like, I have Atlanta winning that one.
All
I have
right.
nothing else to say.
I completely agree with you. Matt Ryan proved a ton last week in that huge win over Carolina, and the Falcons showed they can get it done in crunch time. Some other picks I have is the Seahawks over the Panthers, the Bears over the Jets, the Niners over the Bills, Patriots over the Broncos.
Hold on a second. You know the Bears are playing the Jaguars, right?
Oh! My mistake.
No big deal. Anyway, on to the Jets game. I'm actually pretty interested in this. Texans are going to beat the Jets this week.
Big
Better
time.
running back. What? What'd you
Texans
say?
are going to beat the Jets.
Oh. I thought you said the Jets were going to beat the Texans. I was like,
Oh, no.
settle down, kid.
Anyway, Chargers-Saints. That's an air-it-out game. Look for a ton of passing yards from Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers. Both West Coast-style offenses, and I think it's going to be a shootout, but I think the 3-1 Chargers will take it.
I think the Saints are going to have a bounce-back week. They may be 0-4.
Bounce back week, yeah.
All right,
How can
settle
they bounce
down.
back from 0-4?
They're going to do it this week against the Chargers. Defense is not strong enough to stop Drew Brees.
The Saints proved how valuable Sean Payton was with their 0-4 start. I don't think they can get it done with as many mistakes as they have on defense, and if Drew Brees is the only one doing something on offense, I don't see how they can win.
All right, but I think their defense is going to buckle down this week. I believe in the Saints.
Thank you for watching our first week of Every Man's Fantasy. I promise that these episodes will get better, and eventually we're going to stop wearing these goofy polos and get some nice shirts.
Yeah. I said, who that say gonna beat them Saints? Who that say don't beat them Saints?